Straight from the heart of Nashville, where country legends are made and new voices rise. We've got the hottest new tracks, their stories behind the songs, and the next big stars in country music. This is New on Music Row with Chris Miles. Saddle up, your front row all-access pass to Music Row starts now.
Hello and welcome to this edition of New on Music Row. I'm Chris Miles, your host. As always, please make sure you subscribe, tell your friends, give us those likes, give us the comments, and keep it coming because that's what we're here for. And because of one of your comments, I'm actually going to be talking about a band today in the Rising Star setting or sequence, whatever you want to call it, segment. That's the better way to put it, because of one of your suggestions. So again, thank you so much. Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate all the suggestions, and all the input is amazing. Thank you so much. Keep watching. Like I said, tell your friends and make sure you subscribe and check out all the other things we got going on the Rise Network as well. So with all that said, without further ado, as they used to say, back in the day, let's get into the show and talk about what happened last week. So last week's 5 picks, I talked about the first song, Cole Swindell. We can always move on. Where do we end up with that? Well, about 1.7 streams just from last week. Now, keep in mind, the numbers that I'm giving you is just from last week. It's not necessarily what this song has done, like worldwide. For example, like this one, Cole Swindell's We Can Always Move On. I think it was like over like 50 or 60 billion streams worldwide. I'm just talking about what it did last week, not necessarily what it did like since the song has been out. And also keep in mind that these songs are being released to radios. It's not about when they actually got released like for regular public consumption, because sometimes what artists do is they'll release a song first, see how it does, and then they'll see whether or not they want to put it on the radio. So that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at stuff that's going to be coming to radio today. And that's where we're coming from. Of course, this stuff came to radio last week. So let's move on. Number 2 slot. And again, these are not in any particular order. It's just a matter of, kind of where I wanted to put them in whatever order. Maybe I should alphabetize them. Is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway, Dylan Scott's Till I Can't, I Will came in at 1.6 million streams, again, from last week. Just the numbers we're looking at there. And, of course, kind of pretty much what we thought was going to happen. I mean, Cole Swindell, Dylan Scott, a couple of big heavy hitters right now in the country industry. Cameron Marlowe's 17, which was the next one on the list, 1.4 million streams. Looking pretty good for him as well. And then we moved into another Marlowe, this one, Dylan Marlowe. By the way, they are not related at all. Grew up in completely different areas of the coast, so to speak. One in North Carolina, the other one in Georgia. Anyway, Dylan Marlowe's Picture Perfect. Where did we end up with that? 1.2 million streams on that one. So pretty good numbers for everybody for the week, kind of where we expected people to be as far as their music is concerned. And last but not least on the list, Caroline Jones, No Tellin', 86,000 streams, which is good for, upcoming artists like she is. Of course, we talked about how she was primed to bring back the pop country glory of the 90s, and I think that proves it right there. So again, those are the 5 picks from last week. Again, We Can Always Move On, Cole Swindell, 1.7 million streams. Till I Can't, I Will, Dylan Scott, 1.6 million streams. 17 by Cameron Marlowe came in at 1.4 million streams. Picture Perfect by Dylan Marlowe came in at 1.2 million streams. And then Caroline Jones, No Tellin', 86,000 streams. So let's move on to the 5 picks of this week. Are you ready? You getting that? You get those hands all nice and warm because you're so excited. Topping off the list here, Jordan Davis, new song out called Jesus Wouldn't Do. I think it's going to be another one of his big hits. Of course, Jordan Davis from Shreveport, Louisiana. Remember when I went down to New Orleans for the first time, a little road trip with me and my dad, and we stopped at Shreveport along the way. What a really cool town. If you've never been there, check it out. Louisiana, New Orleans rather, of course, an awesome town. And me being a huge Lestat fan, however you want to pronounce it, we had some wonderful times over at the Ann Rice House as well, too. But anyway, I digress because I'm probably giving you more information than you wanted to know about me. But anyway, let's talk about Jordan Davis. Jesus Wouldn't Do, of course, Buy Dirt, huge hit from him, that little song that he did with Luke Bryan, like, little song, right? Of course, yeah. I mean, this song was huge. Who are we kidding? Anyway, next thing you know, also from Jordan, What My World Spins Around, and then my favorite song from his, Bar None. Great songs to check out if you're not familiar with Jordan Davis at all. A great artist. He's got that like you could like walk up to him and start a conversation with him, and it would be like you were like the best of friends. You know, that's the way he kind of comes off when he does his stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. He's going to be in town. I think it's either August or September. We're going to be going to see him, so that's going to be a great show as well. Up next on the list, Zac Brown Band. Ain't worried about it, and you know they ain't worried about it because we all know who the Zac Brown Band is. Of course, the guys out of Atlanta, Georgia, guys and gals, like I should say, right? Because it's not just guys in the group. Haven't heard of Zac Brown? Well, then what are you doing as far as a country music fan is concerned? I mean, they're the guys who at one point I would even have said, you know, they're kind of got that like party vibe atmosphere, that chill party vibe. Like, let's go out into the woods, do a little bonfire, grab some of your favorite beverages with your friends, and, you know, just kind of chill out and relax. Maybe even a great day on the river. That's the kind of music, like the cool vibe that they got going on. Of course, Chicken Fried, great song from them. Knee Deep, Toes, I love that song. Colder Weather, and then my favorite song from them, Homegrown. I actually love that album a lot. That album, Jekyll and Hyde, if you listen to the whole album, they got a really cool song on there with just so many different artists, as a matter of fact. But Chris Cornell is the one that I'm thinking of, and that song is just absolutely amazing. A little bit on the rocker side, so maybe not necessarily your cup of tea if you're a Zac Brown Band fan and you like their country feel, but something for you to check out as well. Again, that's number 2 on the list this week. Number 3, one of my favorite bands of all time, as a matter of fact. They're within my top 3. My top 3 favorite country bands. First one, of course, a lot of people know this about me. I love harmonies, and I love 3-part and 4-part harmonies. So my biggest band when it comes to the ones that I like. Outside of Old Dominion, I love them. Their music also has that party vibe to it, gives you that pretty chill atmosphere and things of that nature. So, of course, they're on my list. And then another group, it's, kind of a girl-guy group. You might know who they are. They got a song called Day Drinkin'. They've got another song called Tornado. Do you know who I'm talking about yet? Good, because I can't remember their name right now. Can you believe it? Anyway, I cannot believe I'm totally blanking and spacing on their name right now. Wow. But they're one of my favorite bands, and if they're watching, they're probably like, oh, yeah, we're such your favorite band. You can't even remember our name right now. This is what happens when you do a lot of research and you had a lot of stuff to get out during your show, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? But anyway, so back to the lists. I'll probably remember the name of the band coming up in a second here. Old Dominion's on the list now for this week. Water My Flowers, a great song by them, going to be on their new album, Barbara. Have you seen the pictures of it? How they're kind of like in a beauty shop, and it's got a pink like wall and things of that nature. Yeah, another great song. So far, right now, actually, 3 of these songs from the new album are available to stream right now. So check them out if you haven't listened to them. My favorite songs from Old Dominion, Snapback. That's a great song, especially if you ever wore a hat in your entire life, especially a baseball cap. Hotel Key, love that song as well. It's got a, tongue-in-cheek kind of feel to it. My favorite song from Old Dominion is Song for Another Time. I really love that song. I love how they took lyrics from other songs, titles from other songs, and kind of put them all together in one song. Absolutely amazing. Brilliant songwriting. Just my opinion on that, but, it's my opinion, right? Making Good Time, another great song from them. And then Break Up With Him. I love the video for that. Have you seen it? How they kind of give an homage to the Back to the Future movies. Especially the first one, actually. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out. It's really cool. The ending's really cool as well. So that, again, Water My Flowers from Old Dominion. The guys, of course, formed in Nashville, singer-songwriter duos. Actually, not a duo. They're like a quartet. 4 or 5 quintet. I think there's 5 members if I remember correctly. But they were like songwriters, and then they kind of all decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna become a band, and it was really cool. And they have a really cool vibe as well. If you haven't heard of them, I got nothing for you. You check them out because that's what you need to do. You're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't. All right, moving on to the next song on the list. Never Call Again, Gavin Adcock, an up-and-coming star out of Watersville, Georgia. Here's a cool fact about him. He was a former Georgia Southern University football player, and he actually wanted to be a professional bull rider. And then, unfortunately, he blew out his knee while he was playing football, and then decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to take up songwriting. And lo and behold, here we are. A couple of great songs to check out from him. Need a Cigarette, 4-Leaf Clover, Morning Ball, all great songs from him. But again, Never Call Again, rather, the song that's being released this week. Take a listen to it. Tell me what you think. Leave comments in the sections below and things of that nature. And you know what? I think you're going to like this guy. I just, a little tip from me to you. All right. Rounding out the top 5, we've got Zach Top. Good Times and Tan Lines is the song that he's got coming out. There's a lot of party songs or party vibe songs or party vibe bands on this list this week, and that's kind of a cool thing. Maybe we should call this like the party vibe episode or something like that. I've seen a couple of these bands a couple of times, and like I said, they've all got that party vibe. And this song from Zach Top too has that party vibe. Good Times rather, and Tan Lines. And a good song for you to check out. He's from Sunnyvale, Washington. Rolling Stone has called him basically the up-and-coming star of right now. And he calls himself a deep roots country flavor. That's the feel to his music. And currently right now he's on tour with Lainey Wilson, and he's going to be going on with Alan Jackson as well later on this summer. So that's the top 5 for the week. I did remember the name of the band, so we'll get to that in a second when I hit the Old Dominion mark, because we talked about the tangent there. All right, so Jordan Davis, first one on the list here, Jesus Wouldn't Do. The next one is the Zach Brown Band, Ain't Worried About It. Old Dominion with Water My Flowers. And then the name of the band that I was trying to think of is Little Big Town. I absolutely love them. Such a great band to see live. And I saw them beginning of this year, end of last year in Milwaukee. They were doing a special greatest hits kind of tour kind of thing. And another band was kind of hanging out with them as well. And the other band, the band that opened them, is actually the band that was also requested by you guys and also opened for them. We'll talk about them in the Rising Star segment. That's coming up in just a little bit. Moving on in the list, Gavin Adcock, Never Call Again. And then last but not least, Zach Top's Good Times and Tan Lines. Great songs for you to check out. I think you're going to love them. And I think we've got a couple of pretty big hits coming out. A couple of good summer songs. Let's put it that way. Speaking of putting it that way, let's move on to the spotlight on the Rising Star this week, or the Rising Star Spotlight, as I like to call it. That band that opened up for Little Big Town back in the latest tour they went on. That band is called the Castellos. Have you heard about them? This 3 girls, all from Quitman County, Georgetown, Georgia. It's 3 sisters. 2 of them are actually twins. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think there's actually I think they're triplets. But the singer-songwriter combo here, they got a record deal in 2023 with Warner Music Nashville and Warner Records. And a really interesting mix of songs that they've got going on. Why should we be paying attention to them? Well, they have this really cool charm about them. Now, when I saw them back, I think it was in February, you could tell that it was kind of like the first time that they'd ever been on tour, so they were a little shy and stuff like that. But when they got into their songs, they really had a cool stage presence with them, a cool vibe, a chill atmosphere, and some great songs to be paying attention to. As a matter of fact, a couple of songs you probably know from them: Number 7 Road, I Know It Will Never End, Hurricane, which is actually a cover of Leon Everett's song, or called Hurricane. Cowboy Kinda Love, that's my personal favorite from them right now. You Don't Even Know Who I Am, Sober Sundays, and then I really am starting to dig Sheltered a lot from them. So check them out, check those songs out. And again, like I said, American neo-traditional country music is what we're looking at. A trio consisting of sisters Eleanor, Lily, and Powell. Eleanor and Powell are 2 of triplets, like I said, and Lily is their younger sister. She's about 18 months younger than them, but they've got this really cool, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just kind of they're young and they're fresh and they have talent, but they're also not, oh yeah, we're so cool. And the nose isn't in the air. You know what I mean? And they give off that really cool vibe. Now, the song I Know It Will Never End was nominated for CMT Digital First Performance of the Year at the 2024 CMT Music Awards as well. And they got their start like quite a few of the other bands that or artists that we've been talking about here in the Rising Star Spotlight. TikTok and Instagram, just a real cool, channel for a lot of these artists who haven't been discovered to get their stuff out there and to get noticed. So if you haven't noticed them yet, the rising star of this week, Rising Star Spotlight, the Castellos, check them out. Great band, like I said, Number 7 Road, good song from them. Sheltered as well. My personal favorite, Cowboy Kind of Love. And like I said, Cowboy Kind of Love, rather, sorry. And like I said, Sheltered, that's one of those songs, when you listen to like new music and you're kind of like, oh yeah, it's okay, yeah, whatever. That was kind of the way that I felt about Sheltered when I first listened to it. And then I kind of just like, as the kids like to say, marinated on it. And it's really grown on me. I'm really digging this trio, and I got to tell you, if you haven't checked them out, you got to check them out. I think you're going to agree with me. I think you're going to like them, and I think you're going to enjoy some of their music as well. So again, the Castellos, check them out. Tell me what you think of them. Let me know in the comments and things of that nature. Those because they're a trio, right? They are the rising star of the week, the Rising Star Spotlight. So, having fun so far. We've got some great stuff already covered, and you know what? I think you're going to enjoy the rest of the show as well, because I've got another really cool artist that we're going to talk about coming up in just a few minutes here. But first, let's do some special birthdays, shall we? On this date in 1965. From Turkey, Kansas. I didn't even know there was a Turkey, Kansas. I thought there was maybe a chicken, Kansas, but I didn't know there was a Turkey, Kansas. Anyway, yeah, I know. Dad jokes, right? I'm terrible. Anyway, American country music singer-songwriter Joe Barnhill. Does that name ring a bell? Probably for most of you, if you don't really dig deep and you're not really into like songwriters and knowing their names and stuff like that, probably not. But if I tell you that Tim McGraw's number one hit from 1994, Not a Moment Too Soon, was written by him and Maine Perry, then you'll probably be like, oh, I know the song. Didn't know that guy wrote it. Well, anyway, happy birthday to Joe Barnhill, born on this date, born on June 13th, 1965. And then born on June 13th, 1978, a guy from Youngsville, North Carolina, Jason Michael Carroll. Have you heard of him? He's got 3 consecutive top 40 country hits from his very first album. Alyssa Lies is one of the songs, Living Our Love Song, and I Can Sleep When I'm Dead, which is one of those, I didn't even realize that was his song. I just realized that I used to say that a lot when I was younger. People were like, oh, yeah, man, you're out so late. You gotta get in. You gotta get some sleep. And I'm like, listen, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I didn't even realize that this was the guy who kind of, I won't say he coined the phrase, but he clearly coined the song. So happy birthday again to Jason Michael Carroll, born on this date, June 13th, 1978. And taking a look at other things going on this date in country music history, 1987, Randy Travis's Forever and Ever, Amen. Oh, who doesn't love that song? Oh, man. Anyway, it spent 3 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles Chart, and it is the first multi-week chart-topping song since Lost in the 50s Tonight, also called In the Still of the Night by Ronnie Millsap, which spent 2 weeks atop the chart in September of 1985. So a little bit of kind of cool country history for you there, especially if you know who Ronnie Millsap is. I'm sure you know who Randy Travis is, and I'm sure you probably know who Ronnie Millsap is. If you haven't, take a listen to that song, Lost in the 50s Tonight, In the Still of the Night. It's actually a really cool song. So that's what's a little look at what was going on in country music history on this date, June 13th, in a couple of different varieties. Again, happy birthday to not only Jason Michael Carroll, but also to Joe Barnhill. So last but not least, we're coming up to the segment of the show that I really love. I pick an artist or a band or maybe even a song that I think needs a little more love. And here's the song. The song is called The Woman I Am. And now my camera guy is smiling because he knows exactly who I'm talking about. Here's why I think we need to be paying a little more attention to it and why we need to give it a little more love. Not only is Hannah Ellis, the gal who sings it, phenomenal and like she has just grown on me in much the same way that Terry Clark grew on me back in the day when Terry Clark came out. And I don't like to compare artists or anything like that, but I'm getting that Terry Clark kind of vibe from her. And I got to tell you, The Woman I Am, great song. Here's the other bonus to that song. Speaking of 90s country gals, yeah, Martina McBride is on the song. Come on, people. We got to get this song up on the charts. This song is absolutely amazing. It is I will call it this. It's an homage to not only the women of country music, but as far as Hannah says, it's the women of the country music that shaped her in her art, like shaped her artistry, but also it's kind of an homage from to her grandmother and to her friends and to the other women in her life that have helped her. And Hannah is a vocal powerhouse. If you have not checked her out, I'm telling you what, I'm getting chills now because I'm thinking about some of the other songs that I like from her, but I'm also thinking about how when I first heard The Woman I Am, I was like, oh man, this song is absolutely amazing. We got to get it on the radio tunes, on the radio airwaves as well. And the only way you can do that is for you guys to call up your stations and to get the word out and just like start streaming the song. Like, let's get it up there. Let's get it to, dare I say, 1 billion streams. Can we do it? I know we can. We can totally do it. And you can help me. So let's get there. Hannah Ellis hails from Campbellsville, Kentucky. She's was a CMT Listen Up artist. Listen Up artist to watch is what they call it. So even CMT knows that this gal's got it going on. And I'm telling you, once you listen to her and once you listen to some of her other music, you're going to be like, yeah, she totally does have it going on. And she needs to get all the love and support from all of our fans here on New on Music Row. So some other things to take a look at as far as Hannah is concerned. Love of My Night, great song from her. Wine Country, that's kind of like I like to call that the gal party song. She likes her wine country. I'm not going to sing because you don't want me to sing. Anyway, Waiting to Die is a great song that she does with her husband, Wayne. And it's like a tribute to the love story that Wayne's grandparents had. It's pretty actually cool because they were married for almost 70 years, nearly 70 years. What a cool story and what a cool like history behind the song as well. Cool backstory. You know how I like to kind of dig a little bit deeper? There you go. And then last but not least, Country Can, another great song from her as well. Another great like party gal party song. Like if you do girls' dinner, maybe you can kind of like slip it in there, right? And then last but not least, another favorite of mine from hers is a song called Us. So Hannah Ellis is the song, The Woman I Am from Hannah Ellis along with Martina McBride is the song that I picked for this week that I think needs a little bit more love because it's absolutely amazing. A little more about Hannah. She earned her first ACM nomination. Nomination. Don't you just love how sometimes you slip over things and you're just like, yeah. Anyway, she won her first ACM nomination. She earned her first ACM nomination in 2024 in the category New Female Artist of the Year. And she likes to call herself a mix of flannel, sparkling pink wine, and a welcome. And you can hear the welcome in her songs, especially if you check out Us, Country Can, Wine Country, and then of course the song that we're featuring or highlighting this week in the song or artist or whatever category that needs a little bit more love. The weekly pick, as I like to call it. A great song from Hannah Ellis, The Woman I Am, along with Martina McBride. So that's going to do it for the show this week. Make sure you check out the artists we talked about. Make sure you check out the top 5 of the week. If you didn't check out the top 5 of the week from last week, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. Make sure you check those out as well, too. And, of course, as always, hit me up. Social media stuff will be down here. Hit me up on YouTube. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe, suggest it to your friends, share it with your friends, download the stuff. Make sure you follow me as far as like the podcast version of this is concerned. Click the follow button there as well, too, and share it with your friends. It's how we're going to grow and how we're going to get more artists on the show. Hey, maybe even some of the artists we talk about today will be on the show in another episode. But you know what? You're only going to be able to watch it right here on the Rise Network. Hey, it's Chris Miles, host of New on Music Row, right here on the Rise Network, which is how you found us, right? You probably searched for an artist or something like that, and that's how you found out about New on Music Row. And maybe you have or haven't had a chance to check out some of the other shows on the Rise Network. Well, let me be your host. You see what I did there? Anyway, of course, my show, New on Music Row, comes out every Friday. We've got another show that comes out every Tuesdays. It's called Can I Call You Dad? It is hilarious. Andrew Salgado and his dad getting together, talking about things, trivia, some other crazy stuff, and maybe even you might even hear my voice in some of that as well. A couple little guest appearances on the show. There's some great stuff in the works as well too. Going to be great episodes. Again, those come out every Tuesday. That's called Can I Call You Dad, right here on the Rise Network. And last but not least, we got a new show coming out right around lunchtime. It's called Lunchtime Trivia every day, Monday through Friday. Going to be maybe five minutes long, something like that. But it'll be trivia questions. You're at lunch anyways. You're flipping your phone. You're doing whatever it is. Why not educate yourself a little bit and see how well you do? Nobody's keeping scores, so you're the only one that's going to know if you do bad or if you did well. And you may even be able to use those later on in the day. You could even take them and use them at like the dinner table and have a little fun trivia thing with the kids. Anyway, that's lunchtime trivia right here on the Rise Network. Make sure you check that out as well. Plus, we've got plenty of other things lined up. Going to be some great stuff showcased right here only on the Rise Network.